What's up, everyone? It's Kari with Money Vesting. Good morning, good morning. Welcome on board. And yeah, we're here after a brutal sell-off from yesterday. Of course, Tesla selling off a little bit over 11%. Majority of that drop, of course, wiping off close to $45 billion in market cap. QQQ is very flat in going into the open. We've got the S&P very flat. The Dow is also very, very flat going into this open here. I'm still battling through my cold and cough, so I do apologize. And if you guys can see me and hear me, if the audio video is going well, just give me a thumbs up. I want to make sure that there are no technical difficulties right now. So hope you're doing great. We only have a shorter week this week, and we have a shorter week next week as well. But of course, after that, we're back on schedule with 5 days a week for trading. So don't pull a Tesla stock on this live stream. Let's just forget about it for now. Brandon is saying, so done, deal. We're not going to talk about Tesla. I did have it open over here, but we're going to remove it. We're going to put something else on, and we will just not talk. Can we go an entire live stream without talking about Tesla? Can we actually do that? Is that even possible for us to do? I mean, I feel like we're going to get a lot of questions. I'm going to be tempted into talking about it, but I feel like it's just going to be very difficult for us to do, right? Not talk about literally the main stock that everybody's been talking about, right? Which has obviously been selling off the most. It's down the most. There's a lot of controversy around it. There's a valuation debate around it. There's just so much that's around Tesla stock. It takes so much weight. And obviously it consumes this space where I think it's definitely a big player in the market. Anyway, audio, video, all good, perfect. That's great. Good morning, everybody. We need another poll, just like green or red. So let's just work through this poll right now. It's pretty split, 51 votes, but we've got 41% between green and red. So we got a very, very split vote at the moment right now. Milan says, Caddy, every time you talk about Tesla, you have to buy a share. That should stop you. Yes, I think we should do that. I think we should do something like that. What if you talked about it without mentioning the name? David, good morning. Thanks so much for joining. Talk about oil. So yes, we'll talk about a little bit about oil as well. And where do you see the markets going today? So this is one of the charts that I shared with our members earlier, which is like a 30-minute chart, which pretty much goes over the 3 times QQQ has kind of validated this level in the 260s, right? So 263, that's been a very, very nice level of support for the NASDAQ. I mean, you'll notice that even in the past, we've kind of had a very strong support for the NASDAQ here at 263. So we got, the market's rallying over 8% from these levels. So that is a very strong area of demand for the NASDAQ. And, we're pretty much coming down to that level right now as we speak. So like we're inside that green rectangle in the 263s. Even in the past week, we have seen the NASDAQ get validated here at this level, not once, not twice, not 3 times, but 4 times, as we have seen the buyers stepping in around 263 here, buyers stepping in around here, buyers stepping in around here, buyers stepping in around here, and right now we're very much in and around those levels again. So I actually wouldn't be surprised if you do see some potential upside here. Of course, after yesterday's brutal sell-off, I think it's very normal to expect a little bit of a short-term bounce, a bit of a technical bounce. But of course, with this market, you just never know. Anything is a possibility. And, for all I know, we could just end up selling off even more, considering what we have already seen in the market. So, Ranjit, what indicator are you using those 3 lines? So I'm using the VWAP. So that's the volume weighted average price. This is what I have. So VWAP band. Really, the only VWAP band that really matters is the middle one, which is the actual VWAP indicator. But yeah, that's one of the indicators, as I'm sure you already know, Ranjit. It's one of the ones that, hedge funds and institutional investors, when they're doing their technical analysis, one indicator that they always use, and that is the VWAP. And the VWAP only applies to intraday charts, right? Only short-term charts. It doesn't apply to the dailies or the weeklies or the hourlies. It only applies to short-term 1 minute, 5 minute, 30-minute charts when you're looking at those, because it really helps you understand what is the average price based on the volume, right? So it's combining both the volume for that stock and the average price as well. So super, super helpful. yeah, day traders use VWAP a lot, and because we're using shorter time frames, again, this is a little bit different than what I have on our obviously our different charts. Over here I've got the daily candlesticks, the weekly candlesticks, but when I'm looking at shorter time frames, 5 minute, 15 minute, 30 minute, 1 minute, then the only indicator I would have is the VWAP and maybe the 21 EMA, which is going to be over here. That's the white line, right? So a couple indicators that I'll have over here. I hope you feel better, Mohammed. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And not yet. I'm getting better, but not feeling better. So hopefully by next year I should be fine. And yeah, I mean time's flying, right? I mean, it's crazy how I was just thinking about this the other day, where it's funny because I was showing my mom this video of the ball dropping in New York. How they do that countdown and the ball drops in New York. And it literally, I'm not kidding, guys, it literally just felt like that happened, that moment of me showing that video to my mom was literally felt like it was just yesterday. It felt like it was so recent, but it's been one entire year. It's been one full year of that happened, right? Of that, since that moment. So it's just crazy how quickly time's flying. And yeah, it just feels like a blur now. Everything's just moving by so fast. So all right, tax harvesting. Yep. So Ray, I think we talked about this topic during our market update. I think that is one of the reasons why we are seeing a little bit of selling pressure kind of accelerate through the end of the year. And when you see the markets up, right, in a single year, the markets are green if they're higher, if they're up, that leads to more potential upside, because investors don't want to sell for a gain, right? Because then they'll have to pay taxes on those gains. So most investors, what they do is they either decide to just hold, buy more, and then of course sell in January or February next year, right? And if the markets are down for a particular year, which is what we have this year in 2022, then that also accelerates to the downside, because there's a lot of tax loss harvesting. People kind of take advantage of those losses to offset their gains, to lower their tax bill. So that leads to more potential downside as well. All right, so if you bounce in a short time frame, but we are retesting 254 in my opinion, Ranjit test. So 254 would bring us down to, let's see, if you go over to the 30-minute time frame, 254 is going to bring us down to around here. So yeah, I think that's a level that I think you're recognizing. If I'm not mistaken, Ranjit, that's going to be down here from October 13, right? So that's the level that I also think is a very strong support. But before we get there, I think there's another level that I identified, which is going to be around here, which is going to be closer to 259. So let me know what you think about that. 259. So this is from November 4th. Of course, if you break down below 263, then I could see QQQs down to 259. And then, of course, we could be headed down to 254. Those are the next two levels to really be paying attention to if the NASDAQ breaks down today below 263. All right, let's see here. Everything seems to be on sale. I'm thinking about doing the same, Mario. So what is Mario 7B seeing on Tesla? So yeah, Tesla, we promised we're not going to talk about it. Let's see if we can go the entire live stream without talking about Tesla, but I doubt we're going to be able to do that. I think we're definitely going to bring that up. Upgrades and downgrades. There hasn't been any upgrades, downgrades today, so there's nothing to look at on that front. All right, so Oleg says, buying heavy Tesla, sold all stocks, which was green, and swapped for Tesla. Now it says a 20% of the portfolio with 143 price. That's a good average, I would say, 143. But of course, there's debate to be happened. Of course, and when it comes to valuation, when it comes to a lot of different things, when it comes to Tesla, there's always a debate. There's always, whether it's a buy or a sell. So, but of course, I think 143 is a good price in my view. So Tesla, again, I'm not going to mention it, but what's my take on the earnings season? So earnings season, I think I think in the first quarter, we're going to start to see some cracks for earnings. And then in the second quarter, depending on where interest rates are, I think that's when we really start to see some deterioration if unemployment also starts to spike in the second quarter of 23. So I've already mentioned that I think earnings do need to come down. They do need to come down, and they do need to I sound so gross right now with all my sniffing, um, but for earnings, the estimates do need to come down, right? So they do need to decline a little bit from analyst estimates. And then when it comes to the price earnings multiple, then that obviously would jump a little bit higher if the earnings, which is the price to earnings E in the denominator, starts to fall apart. Then the price earnings will kind of recalibrate. So I'm still expecting 15 times. Chris says, "Can you please mute the mic when you sniff?" Yeah, I'll probably do that. I don't have my microphone, otherwise I would have tapped that button to do that, but I'm using my computer right now. To man, I should really just not live stream right now. I feel like I sound really bad. But yeah, that's my thoughts on earnings. I think it's long overdue for us to see a little bit of reversion to the downside, and I think it is just a matter of time there. Please get a green mic before I go homeless. So yes, green mic is coming soon. So that will happen very, very soon. Yeah, a lot of us have syphilis right now. Okay, good. That's good to know. I'm not alone in this. But no, green mic is coming. I actually did create an emoji for our chat, so you can actually you can use a green mic in the chat in our Discord. But the actual physical green mic is gonna be coming out soon. I promise, and I really want to feel confident, right? I mean, I really want to personally feel confident when I do bring out the green mic that, okay, this is the time when there's high probabilities that a lot of things are priced in. The markets have priced in for a recession. The markets have priced in for higher inflation, higher interest rates. Speaking of interest rates, the Federal Reserve is closer to a pivot. In other words, pausing. So once those things are aligned, I would feel a lot more confident in bringing out the green mic. The last thing I want is to bring out the green mic and the market to drop another 20%. So we just got to be patient. We just got to find the right opportunity. So Mark says, dab a little Vicks under your nose. The vapors help. Yeah, that's what I've been doing when I go to sleep. So before I go to bed, I put a lot of Vicks on my chest, my neck, my forehead, and then my nose. So that does help a lot. But it's just, man, every time, it's like routine for me. Every time the weather changes, I get sick. And you guys know, like, I do get sick at least 3 to 4 times a year. Every time there's a change in the weather. So we go from like winter to the spring to the summer and then back over to the winter. I do get sick like 3 to 4 times a year. It's pretty common for me. So, but David says if oil keeps going higher, we're screwed. So yes, oil. There's some expectations that oil will start to push higher once again in 2023. So when I did the video about energy and oil, I specifically talked about energy and not oil, right? So oil. Well, we touched on oil a little bit. We talked about how it's down, 40+% from its recent highs. But energy hasn't really followed through with that. It followed oil perfectly on the way up, but it didn't follow oil on the way down, right? Because energy stocks, I should say, are still very much elevated. They're very close to their highs. So I do think there's either energy. Well, I think the energy prices are going to definitely recalibrate down. Energy stocks, so to speak, energy stock prices, what I mean, are they going to recalibrate down to lower levels in 2023 to get them more in line with what the earnings estimates are going to be. But eventually, again, nobody really knows where oil prices are going to go. The expectation from some people is that they're going to start pushing higher once again. Delhi, very polluted. Yes, that it is. You have no idea. If anybody wants to check that out, go to the weather app and just look up Delhi and you'll see like it's all red. It's literally, the entire map is just a sea of red. That's how polluted Delhi is. Allergies to the bear market, that is also a possibility, I think. But I have been sick in 2021 as well, and 2021 was a fantastic year for the market. So what do you think is the best place to position prior to the potential up-and-coming market capitulation, UVXY, SPX, or SQQQ? Which one or combination do you think is the best play? So Frank, great question. So when it comes to market positioning, I wouldn't necessarily say that 100% needs to be in an inverse ETF because there's more selling to come, because you never know with the market. You just never know. Anything is possible. we might not see a capitulation. We might actually end up seeing some more momentum to the upside, and then for us to see a sustainable recovery if inflation comes back under control, and of course interest rates do in fact pause from the Federal Reserve. So there's a lot of key takeaways here, but if you want a little bit of a hedge, you want to blend in some of your long positions with take advantage of potential short, and I think SQQQ is the way to go, or even SPXU, or SPXS, I think is the one, which is the bear ETF, that can also be traded. And remember that these are leverage ETFs, so they're only meant to be traded and not to be held long term, right? So because of the volatility decay, because there's just so much that goes on behind the scenes with those. All right. So we got, 44% expecting the markets to be green, 43% red. So it's a pretty split vote between green and red. Right now, the Nasdaq's down about 18 basis points. We got the SPY down about 2. The Dow Jones is flat. Everything is just opening in flat. There's no change at the moment. Let's check out some individual stocks, starting with Tesla. We have to at least mention it. It is up close to 1%, back over 110. We got Google down 60 basis points. Apple here down 29, Microsoft's down about 16, and of course yesterday was a very, very brutal day, especially for tech, not so much for energy or for other stocks, but especially for technology. It was just, it was just another Tuesday. That's what it was. I shouldn't even call days like yesterday a brutal day or a crazy red day anymore. It's just another Tuesday of 2022. I think that's what we should just call it from now on. If today is a really brutal red day, it's just another Wednesday in 2022. I think that's what it is. So, because of how much selling we've seen. Southwest also getting a bit of a downdraft here. So, because of the fact that they, I think, canceled over 2,000 flights or something, which is a pretty big number. Let's see. So, American Airlines to cap fares on some cities. Southwest Airlines flight cancellations. So, in a tweet on Wednesday said that they have canceled and delayed Southwest Airlines. So I think, how much is the stock price down right now? So it is slightly down, a little bit over 1.83. So we're not seeing a big impact on the stock price just yet. This is the overall downtrend of lower highs and lower lows. So something to pay attention to for Southwest. So next stop really is going to be down to 29, sub $30 for the stock, all the way down to as low as $26, $27. All right, so average on Tesla 175 now, and I keep on DCAing. You know what time it is, let the games begin. Apple to hit 120 and have these puts prentice. I'm assuming you say puts print. So yeah, Apple at 120. I think 120 is a bit of a fair value for us. That's where we have the intrinsic value for Apple. I do still think that it's a little bit richly traded in terms of the valuation. I think it's definitely come down to 20, 21, whatever that number is. So very, very attractive levels for those for Apple. But it's still a little bit higher in my view. I think long term the P multiple is going to compress as growth slows down, as numbers get bigger and bigger. P multiples do compress, and that's just the nature of how the markets work. So something to keep in mind. All right, here we go. We got the QQQs down a little bit over 22, 24 basis points right now, selling off, looks like even further, accelerating a little bit to the downside even more. We got the S&P flat, 4 basis points in the green. And again, we'll find out if the markets have what it takes to still find a way to actually close out in the green or not. I mean, it's been, the last couple of weeks have been nothing but red for the market. And this is literally the last 3 trading days left of 2022. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, last 3 trading days. And we are done with this entire year. So again, we'll find out if the markets can figure out a way to at least find some momentum. If not, then yeah, we're going to probably close out in a bear market for the S&P. If the S&P just drops another 40 basis points, it is going to be down a little bit over, actually not even 40, just another 20 basis points is going to do the trick and the S&P is going to be down 20%, and the Nasdaq already is down a little bit over 34% from a year-to-date basis. The Dow is the only one that's held up really well, only 9% down. So we'll continue to kind of monitor. So right now we are seeing a bit of a breakdown on the QQQs, down about 0.5%, breaking down below 263 now. And the next stop is going to be 259, right? So we're already down 0.5%. This is how quickly the markets are moving. Like, there was a time when these 0.5% moves used to take much faster. Like, they used to actually take an hour or 2 hours to formulate. And now we're in a situation where these moves happen so quick, so much volume, so much volatility just comes in and just takes it out. Hold on one second, you guys. So there we go. We're starting to see a little bit of buyers stepping in. That is a little bit of a support for QQQs. So, all right, let me see. Just give me 1 second. So we'll see if we actually do break out above this level of 264 for the Qs. So there's a lot of volume coming in. All right, let's just dive right into it here. So what we're seeing here is some momentum. So Tesla definitely driving a little bit of Tesla leading on the day right now. So far, we're seeing a little bit of a 3% move. So kind of recovering back up to 112. We'll see if it actually does continue on this trajectory higher. We got Apple a little bit flat, so it was lower, obviously, but moving back higher here, and Google also up 30 basis points. So some buyers stepping in, and again, QQQ is also very nicely up over 0.5% at the moment. Kevin says caddy trading. I am. Just keep paying close attention to my trade as well while I'm looking at the markets and doing live stream. It is tough, man. It is tough. It is just tough being able to like look at your trade on your phone while you're also just like live streaming at the same time. Oh man. So closed half of the position there on Sorry guys, I'm not saying anything right now. I'm just on my phone, just placing some trades. I'll come back to it, I promise. And I also have to send the alerts over our Discord, so that's what I'm doing at the same time. All right, let's take a look at some of the questions here. No, I'm not sleeping. Alex says, "Are we on?" No, I'm not. I'm not sleeping there. So we're seeing a little bit of a pullback now. So one of the support levels that that we did talk about prior to taking the trade was inside like this green rectangle, right? I specifically mentioned this in our Discord before the market even opened. Mentioned a potential long trade here. Now we did get a fake out, and that's what I was kind of worried about. I actually didn't want to execute right. I should have actually, but at the same time, now forget that. Forget that chain of thought. What I was gonna say is like, look at that middle VWAP. So right now there might be an opportunity for a pullback trade once it comes down to like a little bit under $17. That's TQQQ that we're looking at. So QQQs coming back down closer to 264. Now what I was gonna say for QQQs was that we did see the candle break all the way down to 262. So that was a breakdown, but immediately after on the 1 minute, we got lots of buyers to step right back in. And as soon as the markets open on individual stocks, take a look at some of these candles. So much buying pressure coming in with heavy volume. So you see this huge candle coming in. That's where we actually executed the trade. Now, I do think on a directional bias basis, this is an opportunity to be long NASDAQ, at least on an intraday basis, because we are seeing after 3 consecutive weeks of red and even a brutal day yesterday, I think the market does owe us some green, right? So potentially more upside there. So I wouldn't be surprised if we do get a retest at that middle VWAP and that 21 EMA, the white line 264, and then push right back up. So no, Chente, I did not buy Tesla. So Timothy, what trade did you place? So I actually ended up placing a trade on a TQQQ. I'm all out, by the way, now at 1685. So let's see. I bought at around here, right on the breakout, I feel like, over here on this candle. This is where I ended up buying on that big green candle. So we had a very, very small scalp though, like that's a 2% scalp. Didn't really, obviously didn't sell it all the way up to 1720, but I went in with about 1,200 shares and then sold first lot around 1710 around here. So that was half my position there, and then the other half got stopped out around 1705. Or I think $17. I think that's 17, literally at the bottom. And now you can see that we're kind of reversing back up. So that was a bit of a pullback opportunity there on the Qs. And now I think, like I said, intraday, there's a directional bias to the upside for Qs, right? So I think there's going to be some more opportunities there because SQQQ, if you take a look at this one, it's the exact opposite chart where, probability is very unlikely though that it's going to change that trend, but the probability is just going to keep, it's going to trade in that downtrending channel. Now, sometimes what you will notice is that it kind of consolidates, and then breaks above its middle VWAP. That's what happened with the NASDAQ yesterday, I think, or the day before when I was tracking it, where it just consolidated sideways for a little bit and then had a very nice break to the upside. Like over here, for example, it just consolidated sideways a little bit, then broke out from that middle VWAP and then just traded sideways for the rest of the day. So what is VWAP? It is not VWAP. It is VWAP. So volume weighted average price is what we use. That's the only indicator along with an EMA that I would use for day trading. That, you know, and very rarely do I day trade. I mostly swing trade and of course invest long term and trade options. But just I want to, like I said in my previous videos and live streams, I want to really bring out more tradable opportunities for you. Even if on some days I'm not the one trading it, I'm still gonna call it out for you guys. I'm still gonna really address certain opportunities in the markets for everyone to take advantage of. So I think that's really what I want to provide, and I definitely want to give value that way, even if I'm not the one actually trading it. So I'm still going to address a lot of opportunities in the market that people can take advantage of, whether it's regular shares or just options. So that's, you know, moving forward, that's where a lot of the live streams are going to be focused on, is finding opportunities for us, right? In 2023, that's what we're going to do, is just find opportunities. That's the main focus there. And yeah, hopefully we can do that. Anyway, so Tesla here, wow, take a look at that, up 6% now. Very, very strong move coming in for Tesla. Of course, it's like one of those days where you're celebrating a 6% day, but then you zoom out and we're down 70%. So it's kind of like we need 100 of these days to make literally Tesla back to where it was at the beginning of this year. So yeah, I think there's a lot of work to be done, but hey, it's a start. It is a start, and Tesla being up 6% is good. You know, it's not bad. It's not bad at all. Southwest now accelerating a little bit to the downside, so down a little bit over 2.74%. Look at that, TTCF is up 6%. Tattooed Chef. And again, it's like one of those days where, you know, when a stock's down 80%, and then you get a 6% green day, it's like, hey, let's go. And then you kind of zoom out, you figure out, okay, well, it's still down 70%, 80%. So Matt, never done day trading. Can it be done with a full-time job on the side? So a couple different things there. Number one is, you know, what is your schedule like, right? Do you really prefer being in front of the screen a couple hours in the morning every day, 5 days a week? Is that something that suits your lifestyle or not, right? That's the first question. Number two, you know, it can be a full-time, like it can really be very lucrative in a way that it can replace your full-time job, and it can something be that people obviously do. It can be done, but of course then we can get into this question of, you know, the success rate of becoming day trader and being able to do it full-time, being a professional day trader. Success rate is really, really low, and it all comes down to a few different traits, right? Technical analysis, anybody can learn, right? You can learn technical analysis, you can learn the skill, right? The technical skill that's needed. But what comes with experience and what comes over time is your emotional intelligence, right? So because that is incredibly important, I would say, like, you know, majority of trading is your emotions and how you control your emotions. And then number two is going to be risk management, right? Which is, of course, part of your emotions. And there has to be a rule-based strategy, right? There has to be a set of rules that you follow with your trading process that you pretty much live by. Right, so those are a couple things, because I think the technicality side, the skill side, that can be learned, that can be acquired, but everything else comes with experience, comes with learning about yourself and how you behave in different market environments and how you trade depending on how the markets are doing. And that's kind of like the drawbacks of simulated trading versus real money trading, because the decisions that you make with the real money when you're trading with actual capital would be very different than when you're trading with the simulated cash, right, which is just fake money. So once you kind of learn the technicals, learn the skill, do obviously a little bit of paper trading, but don't just rely on paper trading. And if you're successful in paper trading, doesn't mean you're successful with real money, right, real capital. So I think there's two very different things. So what are your indicators if favorite one on the list? Definitely moving averages is so Matt, thanks, Scotty. You may try it. Is that part of your Discord? So it is. It will now move forward, like we will start to do a lot of day trading stuff and I'll call out a lot of opportunities, but that's not the main focus there. So if you are only looking to join for day trading, I would encourage you not to, because that's not the main focus of the channel that I have. That's not the main focus of the channel that we have on Discord. Main focus obviously is looking at quality businesses and being able to understand where value is and whether that company is undervalued, overvalued. By the way, I'll come back to that indicator question in just a minute. But like I said, the main focus is quality companies, looking at the fundamentals, looking at financial statements, though that's where I really specialize in. And then other things is I understand technicals. We've got lots of really talented and smart people within our Discord that are obviously providing their charts and analysis. And at the end of the day, that's what it is, right? Our community is a research platform. That's what I really look at it as, right? It's not a place where you can get quick tips and signals, but instead you can find some really good analysis and research from our community members that can help you with your own due diligence on companies, on trade ideas, on plans, whatever it is that you're working on. So that's how I see it. It's like very user-generated research. All right, so indicator wise, it really depends on the time frame that you're looking at. If you're looking at some longer time frames, 1 day, 1 week, 1 month, then moving averages is literally the only thing that you really need to look at. But if you're going with some of the shorter time frames, then of course you can look at the VWAPs, you look at the RSI, the MACD. They're also working well. Then volume by price is also a good one for, again, some of the longer time frames or shorter time frames. And then another one that I really like is retracements, right? Fib retracements, but they are not as accurate as other ones are. But I would say number one, moving averages on longer time frames and shorter time frames, the volume weighted average price, the RSI, the MACD. All right. Okay. How are we doing? So make sure that you drop a like, everybody. I really would appreciate it. Right now we're only at 81 likes. Come on, at least get us up to 100 likes if that's possible. And yeah, markets here pushing higher quite a bit. So QQQs now consolidating at that middle VWAP. So just lots of sideways trading for the NASDAQ. This seems to be like a pre-market resistance, which is now acting as a support. We're now starting to move back up higher at the moment. And if we make a new high of day, right? So if the NASDAQ kind of cracks above 265.47, then I think there's more probability that we see upside, higher highs, higher lows. And again, that directional bias still in the favor of the Qs, at least for now, until we break down below 264. So that's what we're seeing right now for the NASDAQ. Alex says, it's the end of the year, Caddy. Stay a bit long with us today. Man, I am dying over here. I need to get some Vicks. I need to get some tea. I need to really, the thing is that if I get better, I would be able to definitely stay with you guys longer. And maybe that's something that we do on the last trading day of 2022. This Friday, I'm happy to stay with you guys for much longer because it will be the last trading day of 2022. But yeah, I just got to get some orange juice. Kevin says CPI comes out in January. So I think it's actually, let's see, BLS.gov, go over to CPI. The next report comes out on January 12th. So January 12th, 2023 at 8:30 a.m. Eastern is when the CPI number comes out. And you know what's even interesting? All right, let's do a quick question here. Who here is farthest into the future? And what I mean by that is, who here in our community, in our live chat, will enter 2023 first? Can anybody beat me? Because India right now, as far as I know, is farther ahead with Europe and the United States and Canada. So I'm pretty much going to enter 2023 first compared to all of you guys, unless somebody here is in a time zone which is even further ahead than India. So let me know. Ranjit says, my avatar can enter first. Malaysia, no way. I don't think they're... Oh, they are. They are. So people are from Malaysia and Singapore. Yes. Yes. So Singapore and Malaysia. Yep. So you guys will definitely be entering 2023 first. Australia, I'm pretty sure they're also ahead. 1:51 a.m. So yeah, it's pretty late over there. It's already December 29th. So okay, so Australia, Singapore, Malaysia. Shout out to those three in Hong Kong as well. South Korea, Japan, Australia. Okay, so Norway, money, I don't think so. Norway is a little bit behind. I would say they're definitely, yeah, 3:51 p.m. Way behind. You gotta be in line. You gotta wait for 2023. But yes, so okay, we got New Zealand, Australia, Japan, South Korea, Singapore, Malaysia. 6 countries that do beat me in entering 2023. But no, that's should be fun. It should be a good time, and hopefully 2023 brings us a lot of good memories and of course some good market returns as well. We'll see what happens with interest rates, with inflation from a more macroeconomic standpoint. That's going to be the big key takeaway, and of course along with recession as well. What are going to be those probabilities? So yes, Alfred, I just got stopped out of TQQQ. I had a stop loss at $17, so I should be stopped out there. I'll send out an update as soon as the live stream ends. Anyway, so thank you so much for joining, everybody. I will be back at it first thing tomorrow morning for another live stream, and then of course Friday will be the last trading session of 2022. So we'll do something special, a little bit of an interesting poll for next year on Friday. So once again, thank you so much for joining. Really appreciate it. Make sure that you drop a like, subscribe. A link to our Discord is going to be down below. 16% off till December 31st if you want to join. Take advantage of that annual discount. And also the fundamental and tech analysis courses, 60% off, coupon code New Year if you want to take advantage of that as well. Happy investing. Hope you all have a great day, and I'll see you all in the next live stream. Take care.